All right, so it's recording now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Kubernetes SIG IBMCloud meeting today on June 5th, 2019. My name is Sadir Zahla. I am one of the co-chair and your meeting host today. So some housekeeping, please keep in mind that this is a public meeting and it's being recorded. And this recording, we make it available on the public YouTube channel. So be considerate of what you speak about. The agenda, it's in the chat, and let me put it one more time for the folks who joined just now for the quick access. And I think there's not a whole lot to share, but let me share my screen. I will share the agenda. But before we go further with the agenda, well, first let me make sure. Can everybody see my screen? Should be, right?
Yes, I can see it.
You can see, perfect, thanks. So please put your name. If you miss it, I will add your name later. But we usually keep track of the attendees here. Whilst the first thing, introduction, any new members, anybody new on the call, and I see Paul. So if you are okay, if we would like to have you introduce yourself, please.
Sure. My name is Paul Schweigert. I'm a software engineer I'm in IBM Cognitive Applications, which is under cloud. So it's under Bob Lord down through Tracy Weber. I work in analytics platform engineering. We're in the process of migrating our digital analytics platform out to Kubernetes. And so wanted to, just see what was kind of going on in the greater ecosystem and, help out as I can. So yeah, that's me.
All right, no, that's perfect. Thanks, Paul. And just for your reference, Paul, real quick, we can touch base later as well to know more about the SIGs if you have any more questions. But the SIG is around it's a special interest group, right? As one of the SIG in the cloud provider ecosystem in the Kubernetes, there are 6 or 7, I think 7 total SIGs for the cloud providers, and we are one of them. And the discussions here are around Kubernetes and some of the other CNCF open projects in that open source ecosystem, and then how IBM cloud, public, private, multi-cloud supports the Kubernetes and other projects. So welcome to the SIG meeting, and I will also send you an invite to joining the mailing list. So if you have anything over there, you can get updates on that as well.
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. So agenda for today's meeting, it's light. As I was mentioning earlier, we had KubeCon just last week in Barcelona, and I just want to give a quick recap. Please feel free to ask questions. I know Richard, Paul, and Shishang, you weren't there. The rest 3 on the call were there. So we miss all 3 of you there. But if you have questions, let me know. So the first one here is the Intro Plus Deep Dive. I have put a link there for the video. It's on the YouTube and it's out there. So that'll be a good story. It was an 80-minute marathon. We used pretty much 70 minutes out of it. So if you have enough patience, go for it. 70 minutes of video, but it was a good one. Very interactive video. We had questions from audience, IBM and non-IBM folks, and I guess you would like to see a lot of it. The presentation was itself was about 45 minutes. We used that to introduce the SIG and to deep dive into the new sub-project, the Cluster API, IBM Cloud Provider sub-project, and updates on the IKS Cloud Provider work and things around it. So the link is there, as I mentioned. Do let me or Khalid, Nimesh, we like so we guys were there, so we would ask questions even afterwards. Other thing which was very interesting to me was cloud provider SIG participation. So there was a cloud provider special interest group, Paul. That's more like an umbrella cloud provider group, and eventually all the other cloud provider SIGs will be moving under it as a sub project. But there was a cloud provider face-to-face meeting. And there were cloud provider intro and deep dive session as well. But like I say, it was interesting since we will be also moving as a sub project. That we participate very well in the cloud provider discussions. Richard typically attends all the meetings. Like I said, I was at KubeCon, so I was at those meetings. A lot of good things came out of it, and so just quick update. The first thing, their high priority right now is moving the in-tree cloud provider to out of tree. So that work is already in progress. Richard, this is an update for you as well, right? Because you usually participate in the cloud provider SIG meetings, but in general for everybody. So in Kubernetes right now, they call in-tree cloud providers, and that means the early cloud provider has their provider interface code, right? Supporting load balancer or ingress or whatever other things a particular cloud provider like from Amazon EKS or Microsoft Azure or GKE side. But some of those cloud providers were an early member, and they have their own code there, and they were part of the Kubernetes repo, so they call it entry. And eventually the community learned that that's not a so great thing to handle it, because if one cloud provider makes some changes, that usually they end up with like a dot release just for one or two sort of changes, creates a bigger binaries and whatnot. So the new architecture is move everything out of tree, out of KK repo. That will create cloud provider specific binaries, lighter binaries, and easy to deal with any upgrades. So that's the highest priority right now for the cloud provider SIG. And I think the other priority work is, as I mentioned, moving the current cloud provider as a sub project to the cloud provider SIG. So that is very important to us because, as I mentioned, we'll be also moving as a sub project. So that work is going well. According to the discussions we had there, I think the three co-chairs for the cloud provider, they were all three theirs, and the latest is they're shooting for July, mid-July time frame to have all the other cloud provider SIGs move to the cloud provider as a sub project. And they're trying to do it by CFP for San Diego KubeCon, which is during that time, mid-July timeframe. And what's going to happen with the KubeCon sessions, which all cloud provider SIGs have at the KubeCon, is they're trying to replace this intro plus deep dive sessions with something called user groups. And which makes sense because every cloud provider has their own users, and they are the one interested in a particular cloud provider. So user group will be something is for those folks at the KubeCon. For example, there's a user group session, and the interested folks can attend it. The only thing is the structure for user group is not yet well defined. It's still under discussions. I think again by mid-July things should be, or before that actually, mostly by end of this month, it should be more clear on what exactly is the user group and how they will be supporting it for each cloud provider. We will try to stay on top of that, and we will update the members as we find out more. Any questions so far, anyone? If not, we also had a SIG face-to-face meeting for ourselves. That was our time for the current contributors to talk about SIG, and we also use that time to sort of get ready for the interval sleep test sessions. And there was a SIG meet and greet. That's something they started at the last KubeCon in Seattle, which was good. And this time it was also good. We had it was more like a round table kind of thing. So Khalid and myself, and we were there. We had few visitors, couple from IBM. I know there's one guy from IBM Japan was very interested to know more about some of the things, and then a couple non-IBMers. Although one of the non-IBM has a feedback on IKS side. File storage versus block storage, and then I was talking to Richard this morning about that. But it was more like an IKS product side. Yeah, so that was overall SIG activities at the KubeCon Barcelona. Any questions? Anything you would like to know more? Khalid, Nimesh, do you guys want to add anything there from your perspective? I know you are busy with a lot of other things beside the SIG, customer meeting and your own agendas, but anything from SIG side, if I missed it and you want to sort of fill that gap or your own observation or anything?
Nothing for me. I think you covered it pretty well. It was a good session overall. Meeting some of the people from different teams and so on working on the SIG was good, and the audience participation was good. Nice to see kind of non-IBMers participating fairly actively in that session.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Thanks, Khalid.
Yeah, I'm good. Sandeep, I think you covered it all, and as Khalid said, the session went well. A lot of good interactions with developers, a lot of interest in IBM Cloud, and we did the keynote as well. So after that, we got some attention on the RASI thing, which is the CI/CD thing that we open sourced for the cloud. I think that went well as well.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. No. Thanks, Ramesh. Yep. So. Yep. I can. Add that here. So, folks, if you look at the agenda, it's called RASI, open source project that was announced at the KubeCon. Jason Muggy at the keynote. So, if you're interested, please take a look. I think Shashank, you may find RASI interesting. Paul, you as well. I'll put the URL here, but if you search for RASI, I think you should easily find it out.
And yeah. We should look for in future meeting. We should see if anybody can come and do a demo or something, or at least talk about RASI. That would be interesting.
Well, about the RASI, yeah, sure. Yeah. Other than that, last week, right after KubeCon, we were one of the 3 SIGs to provide update to the broader Kubernetes community. So we did that. Myself, Richard, Khalid, we were all on the call. I presented the updates, and that was well received. We had, I think, other 2 SIGs as well giving the demo, the updates. But if you're interested, last week's Kubernetes community call, they're all recorded, available on the YouTube. So please take a look there. That's pretty much it. Like I said, the agenda is light. We had KubeCon, we had this quarterly updates last week, and nothing a whole lot of new. I think next call, Khalid, if you can make it, we can talk about a little bit on the 3.2 release of ICP and multi-cloud. That sounds okay.
Hopefully, yeah. I have to check my calendar, but yeah, I'll definitely try and make it.
Exactly right. If exactly, unless you're not available, then we can schedule it later time. Yeah, so that's good. Thanks, Khalid. And I think Richard, from my case side too, right? In the future meetings, we can provide a little, little bit more about some of the announcement that were made recently.
Sure. Yeah, we could certainly do that.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Anything else? Any questions from anyone? Sishong, so I know you had interest in knowing more about the SIG activities at the KubeCon, right? Before the KubeCon meeting we had on the SIG. So because the video is there, but if you have any other questions, please reach out to me or Richard, Khalid as well. But I'm local to you, so definitely let me know if you wanna know more on any of the other things.
Sure. Yep. Thank you so much. I will.
Sure. No worries. And Paul, any questions from you as you work more on the enabling the Kubernetes platform in your side from open source side, relation to the SIG, please feel free.
Okay. Yeah, just getting my feet wet right now, but I'm sure I'll have questions kind of as things go along. But yeah.
Okay. Yep, and again, we typically discuss SIG-related questions here, right? How IBM Cloud supports Kubernetes, but then there are other channels for very pure Kubernetes kind of questions as well. But you are welcome to ask any questions here, and we can sort of forward you to the right direction with the other Slack channels and Slack groups and things like that.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Any other questions? Any thoughts? So the user group will be interesting. Hopefully, we'll have better picture in by next SIG meeting in next 2 weeks or so, and we can have more discussion around how that all shapes up. And that's pretty much it. If you don't have any other questions, comments, I think we can call this a meeting, a short call.
I don't have anything else. Thank you for handling all that work at KubeCon, though, Sadaf. I appreciate that.
Well, thanks, Richard. Yeah, you were surely missed, Richard, this time. But having Khalid and Nimesh and Brad, that was very helpful. It's always good, right, talking to folks. So hopefully we'll have something even better at the San Diego one. With expecting a lot more people. So we'll see. Alrighty, well, Richard, thanks, and thanks everyone. We can get the rest of the time back, and feel free to ask anything on the Slack channel we have on the mailing list, or just email, or by any other mean. But see you otherwise in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.